Drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have almost become household names for weight loss, but were originally designed to treat people with type 2 diabetes. The unintentional side effects exploding its popularity. But there may be even more applications. ICOR research based in Lafayette, with offices in Syracuse, it's leading one of those studies. ICOR President Lisa Sonneborn joining us again. Lisa, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Nice to see you again.
So these drugs are what's known as GLP-1s. As simply as you can, give me an idea, like, how do they work? Why do they seem to work for weight loss and for type 2 diabetes and potentially alcoholism?
Yeah, so GLP-1 is actually a hormone that's produced by the small intestine. And that hormone is responsible for helping regulate blood sugar, helping us feel full when we eat, and helping us feel satisfied. So GLP-1 medications are just drugs basically that mimic that hormone and can have those same results.
So this study that we were talking about in the intro there that I mentioned, what specifically are you looking at with this?
Yeah, so this study is looking to better understand how those GLP-1 medications will affect people's use and consumption of alcohol. So we're looking at individuals whose behavior surrounding alcohol meet kind of certain criterias and look a certain way, meaning how much they're drinking and how often. And then we're evaluating if those individuals are taking a GLP-1, does it reduce their use? Does it reduce their cravings?
Do you have a basic timeline as to, I assume you've already started the study, and then like typically how, or let's go specifically on this one, what's the timeline of it?
So for this study, it's kind of a first come, first serve. So there's only so many spots that we can put patients. We've only been enrolling it for about 6 weeks. We've had incredible response from the Syracuse community. Over 200 people have reached out with interest. So we are trying to get to everyone who's interested in being in the study, but we only expect enrollment really to be going for another few months. For patients that do qualify for the study and actually end up enrolling in it, their participation with us is typically around 9 months long.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Give me an idea, what is the goal of the study? I mean, is this something where when we get the results back, we could potentially use it to immediately help people fighting alcoholism, or is it more one of those, to use an overused phrase, another tool in the toolbox kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is this is an exploratory study. We want to understand more before we really know where to take kind of the answers that we get. But what we need to explore and get a solid understanding of is among people with certain kinds of behaviors and use of alcohol, everywhere on the spectrum from mild to moderate and severe, we want to understand in those different groups and populations, how does a GLP-1 affect those cravings over the course of time? How does it potentially reduce consumption? We do know that there's an overlap between the parts of the brain that control cravings for food and the parts of the brain that control cravings for substance.
Gotcha.
So we really want to further understand that relationship.
Sure. I mean, is this, it's almost starting to sound like, you know, these GLP-1 drugs are kind of some sort of wonder drug. I mean, how surprising is it where you find many different applications for an illness or a disorder that can be treated by one type of drug? Does that happen more than we think?
So it's exciting, but not necessarily surprising. The GLP-1 drugs and kind of their emergence is based on many, many years of historical research in evaluating how the GLP-1 hormone works and what parts of the body it works. That it works in. So we do know that the GLP-1 hormone affects many different body systems, and that really opens up the door for evaluating lots of different diseases. So I think exciting is definitely, and you know, impressive is kind of what we're thinking here, but there's a whole horizon of exploration still kind of underway in terms of research to see really kind of what the limits are.
Under a minute left. I'm going to ask you one last one. I mean, any chance you could find something else in your study that this would work for, or is it hard to all of a sudden see that pop up in a study?
Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting question. When we perform studies, we are trying to gather kind of as much information as possible. Everything from the efficacy and what we're specifically studying, meaning how effective it is, and in this case, it would be alcohol use and cravings. But we're also gathering lots of information about people. We're understanding other changes in their health over time. We're evaluating lots of different kind of markers in how they're doing and feeling. So it's absolutely possible that when you're running a study, you can discover something by accident. And that's, I think, how a lot of medicine and research progresses.
Okay, good. We'll stand by and find out. Lisa Sonnenbach from iCore Research, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Be good.
Thank you.